That's quite a bit for 1 week or weekend. Oh, nice. So one of the days had multiple brisket meals. You got to get it while you can, though. Ooh, like cold or like stomach bug? Ooh. Oh, tons of construction. Wow.
Still is very Austiny, which is great. And there's still plenty of misanthropic locals that are a little bummed out about the tech trajectory of the city. But it was really cool, you know. Sixth Street was as debauched as ever. We had a great time. It was really fun. I love Austin. It's kind of like my Vegas, you know.
Just barbecue,
Yeah, cowboy boots,
cowboy boots, conferencing.
music. The music was great.
Oh yeah, we did see some good music. Shout out to Andy,
Yeah,
whoever
Andy.
that guy is.
Totally. We wandered into some like random bar. We're like, "Who's playing tonight?" And the door guy was like, "Andy." We're like,
It's
"Sweet."
like my buddy Andy's playing,
Yeah.
but he was really good.
Andy was a killer, man. It was
Perfect.
amazing. Yeah, very cool. But we definitely missed the podcast, and hopefully we can make up for it by going doubly as hard today.
Yes,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
We're back
That's what we're about to do. All right, Tom, let's get into some events. What do you got going on tap for this week?
for sure. I got a couple things going on. Shout out to my PT. They were looking for some events this week, and I think her parents were coming to the town. So if you're listening, thanks for all the workout tips. I'm
Nice.
doing them. I'm gonna make sure I do my stuff every day because I need to fix up this chest issue I got going on. But tonight, this is for the people who are listening right when we post because this is gonna be this is pretty soon. This happened in like 8 hours. Um, I was talking about this a few weeks ago, but that social languages class that I went with our buddy Josh to go. We filmed their promo video and everything, and we did their test class. That's going to be happening tonight at the Town Hall Collaborative. We've talked about Town Hall Collaborative events a bunch of times, but that was our old office space, and it's a really nice spot.
Yeah.
It's perfect for this type of thing. But essentially, the social languages thing, you can click and check it out in the description. It's like have fun, have a snack, have a drink. We're only going to speak Spanish for an hour. And
Nice.
It's actually a really cool way to try to learn a language because, there's no tests, there's not even really like a firm structure to it. Like the instructor has developed this kind of teaching method. He's really good at it, and you're kind of like playing games. You're doing stuff like, okay, if you like tacos, go to this side of the room. If you like pizza, go to this side of the room. But like for the entire hour, you can only speak Spanish. So like when you're trying to figure out like what the instructions are, you have to figure that out in Spanish. You have to listen closely to him, to what he's saying, and then you're all participating in these games to learn Spanish. So it's an adult thing. I mean, it's also kid friendly. It's not like you can't bring kids or whoever there, but it's kind of more adult leaning in terms of the instruction and the level. I'd say it's good for anybody who is just starting to learn the language, or if you have a decent amount of experience as well, because it can also get pretty advanced. There was definitely some parts where I was stumped, and I've been doing Spanish since like first grade, so there's definitely that. And then
Is this a weekly thing, or how often do they do this?
he's just getting started up. He's not weekly yet. The first one that I went to was kind of like a private one where we were filming for his promo video. This is the first public class though tonight that they're
Nice.
doing. So again, if you're listening and you want to go, it's tonight at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall Collaborative, and then we'll put the link to their website in here. They're going to have a more structured class schedule coming pretty soon, so definitely check that out. I'm pretty hyped about this one. On Saturday, you have 2 sessions. You can go to the 2024 Denver Ramen Festival. Slurp your way through the tastiest bowls of ramen in Denver at the 2024 Denver Ramen Festival. A must-attend event, 21 plus, because you also get open bar while you are getting your ramen.
Whoa.
It's at the Stockyards Event Center.
Yeah, where's that?
Is that
by the Coliseum?
I think it's a little bit further north, but it's in this like I-70, I-25-ish area.
Yep.
I'm pretty certain. Don't quote me on that, but check it out. Stockyards Event Center. So session 1 is from 12:30 to 4 on. Oh, sorry. There's early entry. So if you get your early entry ticket, you get like that extra 30 minutes. And then most of the time how these work is like if you have the early entry, it's kind of like a VIP or whatever, and you get some like bonus tastes. So early entry, session 1 starts at 12:30. Normal entry starts at 1, and those both go until 4. And then session 2 is from 4:30 to 8 for early entry and 5 to 8 for normal entry. You get a pair of commemorative chopsticks,
Yeah.
all your food samples, and an open bar the entire time that you're able to go in.
This looks incredible. It's not like bowls of ramen. It's like sample size cups with a sport. That
Yeah.
you can try multiple flavors and not get full off one ramen. That's crazy.
For sure. The goal here is to try them all. So we did the one that was the Denver Barbecue Festival. That was probably last summer at this point. But I love ramen, so this looks great. I mean, they got these super long sporks that you get
Yeah.
in the images. Oh, here, sorry.
That
Let me show
tempura
you.
shrimp looks good with some rice. So I mean, for our bread-free brethren, there's options for you.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
I got the visuals on screen now for everybody watching. But yeah, I'm sure you're gonna get some samples from those restaurants too, stuff outside of the ramen game. Oh yeah, so your chopsticks are also a spork and knife on the other ends.
Nice.
That looks pretty innovative here.
Dude,
Genius.
this is some new utensil technology.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
who
Cutting
came up with
edge.
the spork sticks? This looks great. I love ramen, so I might be hitting this one up. It's $95 for the GA, and then it can go up to like 150, I think, if you're doing the early entry.
Wow.
I don't know how much it's worth it, but you know, they usually get some bonus stuff if you do the early entry. So
Who's lead? I mean, people don't know that you are a ramen connoisseur, Tom. Who's leading the game in Denver in ramens?
I'm a big Tatsu Izakaya guy.
Yeah.
They are down by the DU area, actually right on Evans and University, pretty much. It's my favorite ramen maybe I've ever had. There's only one other ramen in the world that I've had as good as this one, but
Dang.
they have a really nice spicy tonkatsu ramen. That's one of my favorite types. But they have ramen for all, and they have pretty decent sushi and stuff too. So that's my favorite spot. There's a couple, honorable mentions around Denver too, but I'm hoping maybe I can come here and find some new ones. I'm sure there's going to be, usually they tell you who's exhibiting here, but they don't have a list for us just yet. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be probably 20 plus ramen samples they could get here.
Yeah, it looks good, man. That little video they got.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, Tom. The spicy tonkatsu is my go-to.
Oh yeah.
Spicy sesame, spicy garlic sesame.
The bone broths are so
Mm.
good for me. Just like a
Incredible.
nice creamy. Yeah, this says you're gonna have a day of mouth-watering noodles, savory broths, and delightful toppings. So I'm actually excited about this. I sent the message out to the squad, and also I mean the open bar too. You don't want to fill up on drinks because you're filling up on ramen, but
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. It's tough to have drinks and get all that broth in at the same time.
It's a good point. You probably want to go spirits. Like beer might create a little bit too much
Yeah,
gasiness.
no way I could do beer. I'd have to be doing like I'll just get shots or something at this.
Looking at these pictures of the spork knife chopsticks, I'm
Yeah.
wondering. I'm wondering at the actual functionality of this because if you're using the chopsticks to slurp noodles or whatever, and then you turn it around upside down to use the spork end, wouldn't the juices be dripping all over your hands? That would be my question.
That's true.
That's a good point. I mean, you could do the pro move and spear the tempura with the spork, and then as you're going to get the noodles with the chopstick, eat it off the spork. You could you could go double time and go fast.
You just have to make sure your chopsticks are clean of juices before you flip around to the spork side.
It's a messy event though, nonetheless. Like your little cups of like ramen.
Yeah, nobody is judging you at this. Like,
No white hoodies.
yeah, no white hoodies at all.
Show up with some latex gloves so you keep your hands clean.
No one would even judge. No one would even bat an eye at you. Like, if you did that at the barbecue one we were at, no, everyone would completely understand. You needed it.
Yeah, you should get a bib and a coveralls and just go in.
Yeah. They probably, it seems like they're trying to make sure that there's not a million wasted forks and knives at this place with these chopstick spork knife combos. But, yeah, I guess you just bring a napkin, wipe it down, keep it clean.
If you go, you'll have to report back on the if your hands stay dry or not.
For sure. I might go just for these chopsticks, honestly.
I know. Those look cool.
Yes, sir. And then I tried to not get a yoga thing. Like, I literally was trying so hard to find something else that was even remotely good enough to replace the outrageous yoga pairings that we have in Denver every single week.
It's Denver. You cannot remove yoga from the events.
Anyone who listens to the show weekly, you know that you can do anything and yoga at the same time in Denver. This one, I'm not sure about the logistics of this one. Like, you have to do the yoga first. But anyway, it's tacos, yoga, and beer. And this is now going. This is going to be in every Saturday. Tacos, yoga, and beer.
Tacos, yoga, and beer at the same time.
Doesn't make
I don't know, but this is at the 14er Brewing Company. Denver Yoga Social puts it on, which I guess this is one of the companies. This is probably Big Yoga. Like, these are the ones who are putting these on every week in Denver. We've had
Big yoga.
we've had like Blacklight Goat Yoga. Goat Flicks and Chill happens every week.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They'll play a movie, and there will be goats, and you'll watch yoga, or you'll do yoga. What else has there been? I don't even know.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
DenverYogaSocial.com has got all of the yoga plus this.
Man.
Yoga, sake, and sushi. Candlelight yoga.
Hold on a second.
drones and yoga.
Yoga at the aquarium. Dude, these guys are the true innovators. These are on the cutting edge of yoga plus everything. Yoga and brunch.
Hold on. I'm trying to get it up for the team here. Wow. This is who's doing it, isn't it?
These are the people.
Because we've gone through aquarium yoga, baby goat yoga, and mimosas. Mother's Day weekend. Oh my.
Puppy adoption yoga. That was one too.
Yeah, these guys.
Yeah,
are great.
puppy adoption yoga. We've talked about that.
Dude, we need these people as a guest on the podcast. We got to reach out to them.
They're basically getting free sponsorship every week because we talk about one of their events every. Wow, look at the calendar.
That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, we've got ideas here. We could partner with these people, podcasting and yoga.
Company? What's the name?
It's DenverYogaSocial.com. Shout out to these guys.
Yeah, we'll put it in the bio because we've put so many of their events. Every Monday they have yoga, sake, and sushi. Sundays yoga and wine. Wow, there's 3 different yoga events every Sunday.
Dude, these guys, I am assuming, to understand the cadence because there has to be kind of a rhythm. Tacos, yoga, and beer really can't be in that order, I don't think. It seems like yoga, tacos, beer is the way.
Yeah. And
Beer,
yoga
taco.
and mimosas. I mean,
Beer, taco, yoga. Oh.
Beer, tacos, more beer, then more tacos, then the yoga.
Then Shavasana for an hour
ooh,
Yeah.
look,
with a beer.
March. Oh, it already passed March 10th. Sound bath. We missed sound bath and yin yoga.
Nice.
Self-care Sundays. Yeah, these are the people doing the aquarium yoga. So we've definitely talked about their stuff before. Wow, you can get an unlimited membership for all these classes.
Dude, I'm going to do one of these. You know what? These people seem like fun. I love core power yoga, but you know what's kind of bumming me out about it?
It's always the same.
No, I like that. It's the terrible. It's the terrible music.
Oh,
It's just yoga music is just bad.
I went to a good music yoga class the other day. She was doing like house music and dance music and stuff,
That's dope.
and kind of supporting that with the energy of her instruction. Like, it could be weird if the music has a higher energy, but the instructor is still like, namaste. Blah, 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 blah." You know,
I don't like when it's like the euphoric kind of atmospheric ambient stuff.
Oh, dude. Or
yeah.
or even worse when it's like the singer-songwriter yoga guy who's like
Oh.
singing about breathe in, breathe out, and let it go. It's like, bro, dude,
Oh.
this is not cool, man. And I'm all about peacocking, and I appreciate that like people are like, you know, trying to get the look in the community that they're in. But like, dude, yoga rock, come on, man. It's awful. There was a Valentine's Day thing that they're playing 90s and like and love songs and stuff and ballads. It's like Louis Armstrong and then all this 90s. I was like, dude, this is amazing. You don't need that like ambient music to do yoga. You can do yoga to good music. It's helpful.
It is nice.
These guys
It's
must
a
have
change
that.
of pace. Really quick, before we hop off of this, go to denveryogasocial.com/winter bingo challenge.
Oh, dude.
They have a bingo board of yoga classes.
No.
And
yeah. Okay.
If you get 5 in a row on the board, you get a free class. It's basically their version of a punch card, but it's a bingo game. And basically, if you go to Adoptable Puppy Yoga, Yoga and Mimosas, Yoga and Brunch, and Silent Disco, this seems like the recent Denver college graduate girl track right here.
Dude,
Get
big
to
time.
Adoptable Puppy Yoga, Yoga and Mimosas, Yoga Brunch, Silent Disco Yoga.
Plant yoga. What's plant yoga?
I don't know. See, these
I need
like,
to meet the creative director
Me
of this
too.
company.
I want to,
They are
yeah.
just
We
pushing
have
the
to interview them. You're right, Troy. All right.
We've got to.
Anyway, I think we've done as much Denver Yoga as possible. Now we're just gonna switch over to promoting Denver Yoga Social at this point.
Yeah, man.
So
These guys, Shannon and Marco, we're your biggest fans. We got to get them on here because we got ideas.
yeah,
We
we're
can
gonna reach out to them.
There's some other events that we could definitely add yoga to.
We'll
Ramen?
go to one first though before we
Okay.
reach out to them because
That's
we
a good
always
point.
talk about it, but we always miss the yoga sessions.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get it done.
Nice. Okay.
All right, Ryan.
All right,
what do
let
you
me-
got going on?
I got a couple of events this weekend. I got the songwriting of Ron Miles by Matt Skellinger and Matt Reed, the Matt's duo. I actually ran into Matt Skellinger a couple of weeks ago with Odetta. We were at Jerusalem's picking up some shawarma, and we saw Matt Skellinger, which was really cool to run into him. So since then, I was like, "Oh, Matt, what's up, man?" I added like, I don't know, a dozen of his tracks to my 2024 playlist, and I guess I haven't listened to his stuff in a while. It's just absolutely excellent. He is an electric bass player, and he plays jazz music, but I figure a big inspiration from Skellinger might be like Tool. So it has like cool time signatures. It's very melodic. I auditioned for his band way back in the day as a singer, and they're doing kind of Incubus stuff. So Matt Skellinger has been performing in Denver for a long time. He's got a very cool kind of tapping technique, and he did a bunch of records with Ron Miles, rest in peace, buddy. So they're going to be covering that. That's Friday night, 9:30 p.m. at Dazzle, which would be a very cool and low-key kind of way to start your evening off. Continue in the jazz domain, we have The Gift of Jazz presents a centennial tribute to Sarah Vaughan, which is Sunday, March 24th at 6:30. Absolute perfect way to spend your Sunday with a dinner and some lovely music from Sarah Vaughan. I also want to give a shout out to Gift of Jazz. I was on their board for a couple of years. Some time ago, we helped them do like a logo contest and rebranding. But they're a wonderful organization that helps spread the love of jazz to kids and to keep these cool events going. My last one is the Transdimensional Gong Experience, which is Sunday, March 31st, 1 to 3 p.m. on Havana Street in Centennial. And I don't know, how deep have you guys gone with gongs?
not deep at all, actually.
I've been in a gong dome.
A gong dome.
Yeah. They always have this at Electric Forest. It's like a sound bath thing, but
Yeah.
like,
Like sound bowls type thing.
yeah, I don't know. You never felt like every single frequency vibrating at once like this, but they have a dome. It's probably big enough for like 10 or so people to get inside and sit in it.
Cool.
And the dome is comprised of like every size of gong that you can imagine. Like
Ooh.
the big one is like the door. They open it up and then you get in and they close the big one back in. And then it's like every other size of gong imaginable all spread out around it. And then you get in and you sit in a circle and then they hit all of them at the same time. And you're just in the middle like,
Sounds like sensory overload almost.
yeah. It's not as like loud as you might think. They're not like smashing them, but like they're getting the gongs going up to like full power basically. Like they're doing a nice roll on them.
All at the same time?
Yeah, all
Oh
the
my
gongs.
God. Wow.
So I feel like this could be something kind of similar.
It could be. And now the gong performances I've been to, it's just usually one big gong. And then they're playing it interpretively, sometimes quiet, rarely loud though. And they're using different areas
To make different sounds.
to make different sounds. And yeah, it is like the bowl stuff, Troy, But it's like almost the exact opposite, where those bowls have like a pure, almost sine wave. It's just like almost perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas the gong's obviously a big symbol. It's like, it's just, I don't know why it sounds so interesting. I mean, it helps if you're in a certain elevated consciousness.
Sure.
The environment helps, you know. But and actually, to that point, they're going to be doing a cacao ceremony, I think, to kick things off. And cacao ceremonies are also one of my favorite things. I mean, it's kind of a rebranded hot chocolate.
Oh yeah.
You know, where it's like, let's have a cacao ceremony. I'm like, dang, okay, what's that? And you sit down and they hand you a delicious cup of warm drink and you drink it and you're like, oh, dang, that's hot chocolate. And they're like, it's cacao. I'm like, all right, cool. But it definitely does bring the vibes up, you know, when you're ready for some gongs. And again, I don't really understand why it's so interesting. Kind of in my sitting practice, I've been listening to this dude named Sonic Yogi for so long.
Sonic Yogi.
He's dope. He's not like it's not the glass bowls. It's more like those Tibetan brass bowls. So there's like more of a distortion. There's more of a distortion and like a dissonance, but you get the same kind of like what do they call that? Like where you get kind of the sound waves kind of modulating in pulses, binaural beats. You can do binaural beats with electric music or electronic music really easily, but you can get the same effect from cymbals and gongs and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't understand it. There must be some kind of cymbal technology that I'm not aware of that plugs into the human frequency and just is interesting, you know?
How do they get that going?
Yeah. And I mean, there it says, join us for extraordinary evening of spiritual exploration, vibrational healing, and profound self-discovery. I mean, that might be overselling it a little bit. There is a tendency right now in these communities that everything has to be a healing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, can't we just like vibe with the gong?
Right.
Exactly.
It's like, am I healing and exploring something? Like, I don't know. This is how you go down the path and become a yoga musician, you know? Mm-hmm. But I suppose it is signaling to a certain tribe. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Go get gonged.
Go get gonged. Lisa Gunshore, thanks for putting that together, Lisa. That's dope.
Yeah, I need to try that out. It's like the more you kind of work with audio and understand how we perceive audio, you can really start to like detect the different frequencies and just noises around you, anything, you know, like
dude, you would love it, man.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, and particularly if you're mixing audio and, you know, I mean, the choices now of adding reverb to any audio source and where that places it in the mix and how to play with that and gate it. Like once you have that kind of aural sensitivity, is it aural? Audible. There we go. Once you have that kind of audible sensitivity, like there's something about these big gongs because it is the full sound spectrum from, you know, bass to treble, and then there's all, I don't know, man. It's really interesting.
Got lots of stuff on those gongs.
Yeah, you need to get in the what was it, the gong dome, the dome.
The dome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into our feature. We got some time here. Let's do some feature with. We got some oddities and random facts about Denver. Troy, are you updating the weekly agenda?
I went in and updated it. Yeah.
Nice, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think March was kind of what we had scheduled to, so I pushed it out into April. So we got some good content coming up for the spring season.
Nice.
And we have an NBA playoff preview happening later in April. And
Hey, nice.
I'm sure the Nuggets will be in that conversation. So looking forward to that.
Heck yeah, we'd be in first place if it wasn't for frickin' Kyrie Irving and his left-handed floater.
I saw that
yeah.
clip. Did see that.
Dude, man. Nothing I hate more than seeing the other team doing a dog pile in the middle of the stadium while everyone going nuts from a last-second buzzer beater. I mean, I do love it for them, but
Jokic has hit a few of those. So.
Yeah, it's got to get one done to him every once in a while. It was in his face, too.
I know, right in his face. I love it when it happens for us, and then kind of mildly irritated when it happens to anybody else.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, all the people who think that we're too crazy about the Nuggets on this show, we also like seeing Jokic get one thrown down on him. So all the haters out there, we say one thing about LeBron or about Jokic or anything,
I
they're
know.
coming at us.
They swarm
Oh,
us, man.
yeah, LeBron's community, they will come after you if they find any sort of negative propaganda, anything related to LeBron or the Lakers. They will track you down,
Hmm.
hunt you, and persecute you.
I know they came at
Wow.
us hard, man. The LeBron fans. I mean, they're passionate. They're passionate.
They are definitely passionate.
They're
For
passionate
sure.
for possibly the third or fourth best basketball player. You know,
Hmm.
which is cool, man. I appreciate that.
All right, there goes our
That-
comment
that's
section. The comments
There
are
goes the
That's
comment.
getting clipped.
yeah, that's a clip right there. Someone's gonna be pissed about that.
Let's see if we can.
Hashtag LeBron sucks.
Yeah.
It's all over.
People are just monitoring that just to just come get you. All right, Troy, you got some good random Denver facts?
Yeah, I pulled two facts that specifically stood out to me. That I thought maybe if you live in Denver, you might not know. These are cool facts.
Cool.
So here's some couple random Denver facts you probably don't know but should know. Fact one, Colfax Avenue. And actually, I haven't fact checked this, so
That's okay.
correct me if I'm wrong. Colfax Avenue, which stretches across Denver, is the longest continuous street in America. It's known
Dang.
for an electric mix of businesses ranging from historic neon lit motels to trendy bars and restaurants. Is that true? Is that the longest continuous street in America?
That is
I
correct.
think I heard that. Yeah, I
That's-
have heard that one.
So it must be a massive avenue.
I was actually looking at it from the plane the other night, and I was like, you can know that it's Colfax. Goes all the way from like the mountains basically into the plains. It's like a highway.
Totally. Yeah, from just the base of the foothills, and it just keeps going and going and going and going and going.
Completely
Wow.
straight.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah, Colfax is what's up.
There's lots to do on Colfax.
Lots to do in Colfax. It's pleasantly stabby as well. You know, it's got salacious origins and a little dicey in places.
Yeah, you
but
can find any type of zone on Colfax.
absolutely.
Super nice, built up zone. You can find the cool, hip, trendy zone, the stabby zone.
Yeah,
Stabbies.
yeah. There's.
Like physically and literally the stabby zone.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Oh wow.
yeah. There's
All
some
right.
real stabby places along Colfax, but generally speaking, it's also like, I mean, would you say pedestrian friendly? Even as stabby as it gets, it's still
Yeah,
during the
you're-
day.
you'd be
You'd be all
fine.
right. You'd be all right.
Depending on where
I
you
mean,
are.
if it's the longest street in America, you'd have to imagine it probably has its own entirely different communities and economy based
Yeah,
on
it
where you are.
Does totally.
It's got its like bus route that goes all along Colfax and stuff.
Totally. There, yeah, that's a cool one to look up at from above. And then there's, I believe the what's the line of latitude on the globe? You know that wraps around horizontally. I think there's a line
Horizontal longitude, I think.
of longitude is this way, isn't it?
No, I
North
thought-
south.
No, longitude should be around because the Earth is like compressed, so that makes those lines longer. So that's why it's longitude.
No, I remember because it's latitude if it's because it rhymes with flatitude, so it's like a flat tire and it's flat. That's go with that. But one of those lines of latitude, I believe, cuts right through Boulder, so you can kind of go up on Flagstaff and look at that giant, like just straight line through the plains. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
What else you got, Troy? That was a good one.
Second random fact. This one is themed around dinosaur discovery. In 1877, a Stegosaurus fossil was discovered near Morrison, Colorado, just west of Denver. This discovery marked the first documented evidence of the existence of Stegosaurus and sparked interest in dinosaur paleontology in the region.
That's an absolute classic.
Dan,
Nice.
You knew that one?
I didn't know that was the first one here.
I didn't know about the Stegosaurus, but I do know that there's all kinds of footprints and stuff. There's a Dinosaur Ridge, which is just off of 470, which you can go to, which is really cool. And there's another one maybe a couple of miles north on the way to Arvada that's just like kind of nondescript. And again, it's kind of right where the plains immediately are hitting the Rocky Mountains. So it's like right into these foothills. And those mountains are insanely old.
They're full of dinosaur fossils. There's so
Full.
many
Yeah.
things you could do over
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Which one was the Stegosaurus? That's the one with the horn, with the plates.
Yeah, the plates on its back.
It's like
on its
mohawk
spine.
kind of.
Yeah.
It's one of the cooler ones. I mean, that's like, if you're
Pretty
thinking
sure.
about dinosaurs, that one stands out.
Those guys are like indestructible, I'm pretty sure.
And they got, I think, like a spiny tail.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, that was one of my like fantasies or like lifelong dreams, was to like stumble upon dinosaur remains. That would be it.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that was every kid's.
Oh,
That'd be
bucket
sick.
list. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
Dad, look, I found a dinosaur bone. It's like a human femur.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's
Yeah.
not a dinosaur. Yeah, you got it. It's a baby dinosaur.
Yeah. No, they're really cool, though. Like, there's some that there's the one, I'm trying to think. I can't remember where it is, but it's on the same stretch up by Arvada. But like you look at the prints, and man, it's eerie, you know, because they're so big. You're just like, God dang.
Dinosaur Ridge is the big one by Red Rocks.
Yeah, 470.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, but
Is it like an exhibit or like a museum type thing you go to, or is it just Dinosaur Ridge, like the area?
It's
called
like
that?
an outdoor area,
yeah,
but I think you pay to do like the main trail of it.
yeah.
But
I think-
the fossils are in the place where they're found. Like
Yeah.
it's just like half excavated, and they're still in the ground, and you can see them all there.
Yeah, there's a couple of jabronis in the 19th century that chiseled them out and sold them somewhere, probably on a train or something.
Oh man,
You know,
sure.
but they're cool. All right.
Transcontinental Railroad.
Transcontinental. Tom, you got any Denver facts? Or I pulled a gazillion.
I know. I'll do a couple quick ones before you go. And also, yes, longitude is from the North Pole to the South Pole.
Yeah.
So I guess the sphere bulging out, that's what makes those ones long. Latitude is like the equator. Latitude, equator, longitude, prime meridian, just so we're not giving anybody
Misinformation here.
bad answers on their earth science test this weekend or this week. Let's see. I got a couple ones that I thought were pretty cool. Oh wait, I feel like my list got a little bit messed up. Okay. In early 1858, there was virtually nobody living in the Denver area. So it's kind of cool to think about this, but Denver was not a thing until 1858, essentially.
Wow.
And a lot of places in the country are a little bit older than that. Outside of the country, everything is way older than that. But it's cool to put that in perspective. 1858 is when the gold rush started. July 1858, precisely, gold was found nearby, and the Pikes Peak Gold Rush began,
Nice.
later known as the Colorado Gold Rush. So before that, nobody even lived here.
Wow. There must have been a couple of people, right? Because
Generally, no, but it's the area that makes up Denver today. There was virtually like nobody there.
it's wild, man.
I'm sure some surrounding areas and towns along the railroad or whatever were a thing.
Yeah.
So not even maybe two generations ago. That's
Yeah,
all. In Denver.
essentially. Like, if you think
What
about
defines a generation? Actually, is it grandpa,
it, you gotta,
grandma, mom, daughter?
generations are like
20 years?
familial. So like
30 years?
my grandpa I think was born in like the 20s or the late teens. But someone else's grandpa might have been born in like the 40s. So
The Dickities.
yeah, exactly.
19 Dickety 6.
But I guess like safe to say 3 generations was when Denver was started.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, you get all the way to Denver, the confluence of, the Platte and the Cherry Creek, and you just now those mountains are starting to look different. It's like, well, I guess the westward expansion can end here for a while. Let's let's go somewhere else. That's cool, man.
Okay, I found my other two that I wanted to do here. So, Denver was actually awarded the 1976 Winter Olympic Games, became the first city to ever decline hosting the Winter Games.
What?
Decline hosting any Olympics.
Why?
The city withdrew its bid related to concerns about high cost and potential environmental damage. I'm not sure if this is the one that went Colorado Springs, but they went down to Colorado Springs.
The training center for sure. Yeah.
They had an Olympics there though. I'm pretty sure.
Did
like
they?
Colorado Springs, and like I'm sure the I don't
Maybe
know.
the Olympics weren't as high grossing at the time, where the investment wasn't worth it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Why?
but also even to this day, I'm pretty sure the Olympics leaves a wake of destruction and wherever it goes.
I know.
I know
really?
Brazil is destroyed by the Olympics.
Dude, remember when we woke up and like all the pools had turned like dark black in Brazil? You remember that?
Oh,
It was like the weirdest thing. It was like right before a swimming event, and all of them just like had like a massive bloom of algae. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, and they were like concerned that the stadiums are being built with like essentially slave labor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry Olympics, but
Well, I mean, I think they're also known for their corruption. The Olympic Committee is like ridiculous.
yeah, who is that? Who even knows who that is?
But 76, that could have been Bruce Jenner, like dominating. Wasn't that his year?
I don't even know. I don't know when Bruce Jenner was running it down.
I think that was when he was running things.
Okay. Two quick ones about the Denver Mint.
Ah,
The Denver Mint is a cool thing to have,
yeah.
but essentially, one cool one is the Denver Mint produces 40 million coins a day.
God dang.
They all have a D mark on them. That's how you can tell. Pennies make up 70% of those coins that the Denver Mint makes. The rest, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars. And then another cool one about the Denver Mint, there is $100 billion worth of gold bars inside the Denver Mint being stored.
Dang. No wonder they have those fences like that.
So if anyone's trying to do a heist, wait, listen, don't Denver Mint. I'm just joking around here, but that
not
would be a
financial.
place to heist. I mean, $100 billion worth of gold. I don't think people really heist gold that much, though, because it's so heavy.
It's a heck of a heist.
Yeah.
$100 billion in gold.
Yes.
Can you get a tour of that?
It's the second largest gold bullion deposit in the United States. $100 billion worth of solid gold bars.
Dude,
That's
that's probably like a magnet for the Anunnaki, too. If the aliens return, they're coming to the Mint first, obviously, to collect their gold.
The precious metals, yeah.
You guys know about the Anunnaki, Troy?
no.
The Anunnaki were these Sumerians that it's written in their texts. And what they were is that basically alien human hybrids, and they came down here. The idea is that they came down here, mixed their DNA with some hairless monkeys, created humans. And then basically this is the reason why all human cultures like have an affinity towards gold, is that like there's some kind of programming in our DNA that makes us like desire gold.
Gather it all up for them to come back and
Yeah.
get it later.
Exactly. So when they come back, so I mean, some of it's a little bit ridiculous, but what's wild is that like in these Sumerian tablets, like there are like detailed maps of the cosmos. They know all the planets in the solar system, and they are like pointing to a planet where the Anunnaki came from. I mean, it's worth taking a look at how cool these things look. They're like could be described as angels and stuff.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was real.
Now, this ties into my second favorite conspiracy theory, which is geomancy. You ever heard of geomancy?
No.
We're going to take it to geomancy. So geomancy is basically the idea that like all of these historic places, and maybe even not so historic, are connected by lines of latitude and longitude
We're
to
back
each
on
other
the
and are like pointing at each other.
Latin long.
Yeah. So basically what you can do is you can like say like, let's say you're looking at DC. DC is like geomancy heaven because the way that they laid it out, all the Masons built DC, all the Masons built Egypt, all the Masons built Greece, and so they're all pointing in different ways. We know, of course, that like the pyramids are facing the cardinal directions and are also kind of like laid out like Orion's belt, those 3 stars, and so there's all of this like symmetry that's happening. Well, geomancy takes a step further to show that like, okay, why are the pyramids in all these different cultures, the Aztecs and in Thailand and in Egypt, they're all pointing at each other and directing lines of, we'll call it energy, to each other. Okay, now right where the Denver Mint is, okay, think about it, it's right there on Broadway and Colfax, basically. Right across the street, you've got this really cool sculpture of like these 2 faces with this pendulum. And then you have the entire kind of way that the Capitol building and the whole like kind of Civic Center promenade is facing.
Yes.
So we need to look at it because I had no idea there was $100 billion worth of gold bars, but that makes sense.
Oh, it could be like a.
It's a map to the Anunnaki, dude.
Oh my.
It's all
true.
clicking.
This is it.
$1 billion of gold is 907.185 tons, metric tons.
Holy cow.
Okay, so that times 10.
That
That
be,
times 100 because that is $1 billion worth of gold, right?
yeah.
Oh, wait. So how heavy, how much weight?
No, sorry. So there's 2,495,266.48 kilos. There's 907.185 tons per kilo. So do the math. Or per
Per $1 billion?
Per $1 billion of gold.
Okay, and they have $100 billion there.
So how big is this facility?
Dude, it's
There's
pretty
probably
big.
a huge underground there that no one even is allowed to access.
Look, man, this is
It's
making a
also
lot of
huge.
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I took a tour there when I was in elementary school, and they make a lot of pennies.
yeah,
But they got like dudes with M16 machine guns at the doors.
yeah. It's
Like, they are
definitely a
not-
high security place.
They're not playing at all. And I was
Anyway,
like,
anywhere there's a tangible $100 billion has a lot of security.
oh man, dude, what if there's a spaceship under there?
I think the only bigger one is in New York because it said this is
Fort
the
Knox.
second largest gold deposit. New York City, no, there's a huge gold deposit there too.
Dude, and shout out to Paul, the owner of Samana. He is the geomancy like #1 advocate. Oh, I can't believe I got to talk about geomancy today. That's cool.
I'm gonna. Let's see. I'm curious now.
It's fun, man. You know Google Earth, that application?
Yeah.
Dude, just look up geomancy on YouTube and just have fun on that rabbit hole for a minute. There's a lot of kookiness. I mean, it's very, very kooky, but maybe it's true. You never know. Why do we have all that gold? That was back when probably when our money was backed by gold, right? So you had to have a reserve of gold. Now it's just chilling.
The Federal Reserve Bank is in New York City, so that's where they got mad gold.
I got gold.
All right, what else? What else we got, Ryan?
Cool. I got just a couple like fun little ditties. The DIA covers more than 33,000 acres, making it the largest airport in the United States. That's cool. Denver is home to the largest city park system in the United States. You know, you like to play slam ball and volleyball, Denver's a place for you. We can thank that to Governor Speer, who was very implemental in building all those parks. Some may say he was a gangster. Some may say he favored organized crime. That could be true, but also he liked parks. So we like Speer. What else do we got? City experiences 300 days of sunshine, which we all know because if it gets cloudy for one day, we reevaluate all of our life decisions. And I also pulled a couple of fun Old West Dusty characters because I know we're always talking about those here. We talked about Buffalo Bill, of course, who's buried here. Also, I didn't realize it was controversial, but Cody, Wyoming also claims that they have Buffalo Bill buried there.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a discrepancy?
There's discrepancy. And Cody, Wyoming bears his namesake because Buffalo Bill founded that town. But I do believe he's buried there because he wanted to look over the plains, and it's such a beautiful
Yeah, it's a
view
nice place.
when you're up there. So of course he was here. He was there, but also another great Western showman and outlaw, Wild Bill Hickok, lived in Denver as well. He's probably most known for being, you know, a scallywag in the Kansas territory back in the day, but he lived in Denver. Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday lived in Denver. He lived at 3rd and Blake, which is now, I just looked this up the other day because I watched Tombstone again. But the place he was staying was at 3rd and Blake, which is basically the corner of Spear and Blake. You know, if you're thinking about like right across from the Tivoli or Auraria campus, that's where Doc Holliday lived. Now, Doc Holliday, as a tradesman, was a dentist, but he got tuberculosis when he was 20, so he came out west because he's trying to like save his life with the dry air. And if you could imagine how disgusting it would be to your dentist had tuberculosis and a coughing fit while you're all vulnerable with your mouth open. He wasn't known for that. He was definitely known for being a gambler. And back then, like you could be a professional gambler. It was kind of like it was just a regular career, a card guy. Doc Holliday.
Huh.
Shout out to him. And then the other guy who's a kind of a notorious guy, Soapy Smith, who was also a gambler, but he was more of a hustler and a scam artist. And he was kind of like, I think probably when people were gearing up in Denver to go try their luck at the gold mines, he was the guy playing with a 3-card monte and those kind of games.
Sure.
Just hustling people on Market Street. And that dude, Soapy Smith, I think was actually murdered in Anchorage, Alaska at some point. So those guys are pretty cool. Their ghost is still hanging around. Of course, Silas Soule is down there as well. I always like to mention that guy when I get the chance.
I mean, no one was in Denver in, what was it, 1858. These guys weren't even walking around that long ago.
Yeah, seriously.
I know, with their dusty boots, tuberculosis, dentist. It's unbelievable. Homeground hit songs. Denver has birthed several iconic musicians, including John Denver, although I don't believe he was here. Judy Collins is from here. Nathaniel Rateliff, and probably less well-known Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun
Oh, wow.
Kelly?
Machine Gun Kelly, when he used to be Machine Gun Kelly, he's from Aurora, and I think his name's just Kelly now. I'm not sure.
I saw a giant
that? Colson?
Olivia says his name's Colson.
In Aurora, we call him Colson. That's what Olivia says.
I was just this weekend in downtown Hollywood, and there was a giant Machine Gun Kelly billboard, and they had him just labeled as MGK. I
That's
didn't
pretty
even
dope.
know he was like popular still, but apparently he had a massive billboard right down there in Hollywood. So, and those aren't cheap. So.
Yeah, he flipped over. He was like a pretty good rapper, and then I think Eminem murdered him by words, and now he's like kind of a pop artist.
Huh.
He's a fashionable man. I mean, he's from Aurora, hometown boy. Home of the unsinkable Molly Brown, as most Denverites will know. There's a Molly Brown house here. Molly Brown, who, of course, survived the Titanic disaster. And her mansion is really cool, although it was built in the times when, like, every room was very small. We have kind of the opposite aesthetic now, where you were looking for wide open spaces. But back then, you wanted smaller spaces, and then you had all these, like, servant chambers, so you didn't have to make eye contact with the people that were serving your food. You know what I mean? Now we all like to cook our own food and look each other in the eyes. But that's not how it used to be. You know?
Times have changed.
Times have changed. And we'll end with this fact. Did you know that Denver is called the Mile High City because literally it's a mile high above sea level?
Yes.
I did know
that
that.
same exact location that we were just talking about earlier
Yeah.
is exactly 1 mile where the gold is. It's
Really?
exactly right next to the step. On the Capitol building, they have a step that is exactly 1 mile above sea level, and that's right next to the gold mint, or the Denver Mint.
It's right there, dude. It's in line. Like, look
Yeah.
at the architecture from above. They're pointing to something. It's a giant arrow signaling the Anunnaki to
A
come get the
golden
gold.
arrow on the dome of the Capitol building.
It's gold.
shooting up. It literally is gold.
Dude, you know what we should do is get the gong going in the Denver Capitol Gold Dome.
Yeah.
That's how you signal the Anunnaki.
And they don't stop anyone from doing anything right there. It's like the main protest spot. So we could just get as many gongs as we want down there and try to summon some gold.
Dude, I would be into that, man. I would be into that for sure. I wonder if you could do a concert in there. You know, there's also that on Federal, there's that big Masons Lodge. That looks cool too. I mean, I had this like deep appreciation and magnetism towards cathedrals because not only are they just like the architecture stunning, but like they're designed acoustically, you know, so where you can listen to the chorus, you can listen to the choir, but you can also listen to the sound of the choir that's happening above in the chamber echoing around. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, you know, we were talking about last week actually about Denver being a mile high, and actually some of my travel plans were adjusted because I didn't realize like Mexico City is so high. Mexico City is like 8,000 feet.
It is.
And
yeah.
we were looking at Bogota and different like Central American.
That's even higher, right?
It's even higher. Yeah,
It's like 10,000.
yeah, because I kind of have a phobia of like heat and bugs. And so, like, it's kind of Central Southern America. I'm just like, I'd really like to go there, but it seems so hot. But it's not.
No, it's the mountains get up quick over there, so
Yeah.
it cools down.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Mile High City looks really solid on the Denver Nuggets jerseys, but, like, it's not even that high in comparison to other cities. Mexico City, higher in, like, 5 times the people, maybe 10 times. You know?
My brother got slight altitude sickness when we went to Denver, so
Yeah.
somewhat high.
That does happen.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely up in the mountains. Denver's like right below the precipice where people usually get it. But I think 7,000 is where people really start to feel sick.
It'll kick in.
Quick.
Yeah. With all those folks that fly into Denver and then they drive straight up 70 and go skiing and then they're on the top of the tree line essentially in
Yeah,
like
they don't really know
couple
what they're in
hours.
for.
It's like, dude, you're gonna be hurting a little bit.
Gotta be careful.
All right, let's wrap this up with some highlights from last week. I took my family to powwow. It was absolutely extraordinary. The craftsmanship this year, I felt like was on a different level. There was a quill work. We saw the women's fancy traditional dancers. We saw the men's fancy traditional dancers. We saw the Aztec dancers. I forget the name of their dance, but they were killing it. The drums were killing it. It was awesome. I loved it. We tried to go to Takabe, and so did everybody else. So we bounced and went across the street to Billy's Inn, which was just as good. But that was my highlight. And, of course, South by as well.
Nice.
Tom, what was your highlight, buddy?
Yeah, I got South by Southwest for sure on the list. We had a really good time. We met a lot of other podcast industry professionals and just had a great time talking with everybody. Saw a lot of cool experiences, did a lot of cool things. And then outside of that, I also, on our off week, I was over in North Carolina over the weekend for a wedding. That was also a great time. I'd never been to Raleigh, North Carolina, but it was nice to be over there.
Cool.
Got a little bit of humidity. It was just like Austin, where I'm back in 80-degree temperatures. Now, I think I've actually missed every big snowstorm of the year here in Denver, besides the one that I was in Steamboat for. That was good. But every time it snowed in Denver, I was somewhere else.
You lucky dog.
So I missed the big snowstorm that got us everyone last week, but it's all gone now. So
All gone now.
it's not here anymore.
Is there any specific cool people in the podcast industry you met at South by Southwest that stood out, that were unique?
We met some cool peeps. Not too many podcasters themselves, more so industry professionals. You know, we met some really cool people from some big companies who were also on the South by Southwest. the Sounds Profitable, which is an organization we're a part of, podcast track that they are trying to start up at the conference. Um, but yeah, I
Nice.
don't know if I could drop any names of people, but like we definitely met some executives of some big podcasting hosting companies.
We chatted up. What's his name? Rob McDaniels, the CEO from Beatport. He was an
Oh
interesting
yeah, we
guy.
met the Beatport CEO. He was pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
He was cool.
He was cool.
He was cool.
Yeah.
Beatport is the headquarters is in Denver, right? Or am I imagining that?
Well,
Yeah.
he just told us that they just shut it down.
Yeah,
So
they shut down the HQ.
I think they're gonna mainly just be in LA and Berlin now. Did he say? He said that they didn't really need the Denver office anymore.
That was the first one, though.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely
It's from
started
Beatport,
here.
yeah.
He was a straight
Or he's from Denver.
straight shooter kind of guy. We listened into his panel about mergers and acquisitions in the music industry. So it was him and a couple other executives from other companies, and then we ran into him later on at the bar.
At the bar, yeah. He told a funny story. I mean, it wasn't funny. It was only funny as an audience member because this guy's kind of take no prisoners kind of guy.
Yeah, he seems like a straight shooter. Like that's why he's a CEO. I guess he gets stuff done.
Yeah,
But
he was telling us.
Yeah.
He was telling the story of like a deal that didn't get done. He wanted to buy a company in Japan,
In Japan, yeah.
and he basically went to them and was like, "Cool, we're gonna have to like lay off like half the staff," and they're like, "Oh, we can't do that because I guess in Europe and in Japan, there's just like very strict rules about like employment. Like you
It's
can't."
just known that you just don't lay people off. I think he said that it's just a cultural thing where you just hope that they quit or retire soon. Like you just don't lay people off for
he said
stuff like that.
He said there's a Japanese word for employees that just sit and stare out the window. They're basically not working.
Yeah, he seats them, or not him specifically, but in Japan, the word means that they're like, they sit over by the window, meaning that like they put their desk over by the window with like,
Meaning that they wish they would just jump out of
hope
it.
the intention
don't
is
work.
that they want them to jump out
Oh,
so they don't have to employ them anymore.
yeah. He was dropping like stories like that was kind of falling on crickets. I think he thought it was funny.
Yeah,
Everyone's just like,
it was
whoa.
tough.
Like, whoa, dude.
Like, dang.
Oh man.
I guess, I mean, they care about their workers in Japan, so I get it though. I mean, who knows what that acquisition really looked like, but yeah, I think he said that it didn't go through.
Yeah, he lost the deal because of that. So I was like, yeah, well,
Whatever.
I guess we won't make that same mistake
No.
with our mergers and acquisitions in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was also like talked to some people in Germany that were talking about how different it is for advertising in Germany, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And compliance in Europe, they said basically like if you're an influencer in Germany and you're advertising on behalf of a brand, you're liable for the outcomes of that advertisement.
Yeah.
Personally liable. I was like, whoa.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, so he was showing me Tom and I his Instagram, and so like there are like all these like different like major caveats and like
Identifiers, really.
yeah, identifiers on their Instagram profiles is really different because they're making sure that people know the differentiation, and like I was like, boy, that's pretty wild. They got different kinds of capitalism out there apparently.
That is wild.
Yeah. So.
How about you, Troy? What was your highlight?
Yeah, I'll just run through mine quickly. Put my studio together. I put together my desk and stained it last week. I think I underestimated how tricky finishing wood is. I'm a beginner woodworker
Ooh.
myself,
Yeah.
and I messed it up. I'm gonna,
No.
yeah, I'm using it now though. I fixed it. I didn't realize what a process it was, and like you have to be so careful, meticulous to do it right. Um, but I think I put a couple more layers on, sanded it. I think it's gonna work. I covered the part where the coat got messed up with some equipment, but I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, it was definitely a process, multiple day process. So that took up a lot of time, and um, yeah, getting the studio together. So I think in the next month or so, I'll probably have it fully put together. And I need acoustic panels on the wall for some
Mm.
sound treatment. That's going to be my next project.
Mm.
Yeah, got to get some acoustic paneling around the room.
Hang up
But
some nice wool coats in the closet.
yep, exactly. But yeah, after this desk, I think the DIY thing, I think I'm gonna take.
What'd you do to it?
So like, I didn't. I guess you're supposed to mix which it's like a polyurethane finish with paint thinner, which I didn't do to get the right consistency.
Mm.
Otherwise, it can get thick and kind of goopy.
Yeah.
And on one of the corners of the desk, it got real thick and ran real dark. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the process,
Staining
right?
is a fine art. Usually less is more. Like you actually need to use very little stain and like do thin coats. You can get some like real. I mean, it's called stain, I guess, for a reason. But it if you get like a glob somewhere, it could make it really dark.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like you said, less is more. I put too much on one corner, and it turned into kind of this dark blob.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to sand it down and restart, and it made it worse. So
Oh, well, yeah. If you want to do that, then you got to end up like sanding the whole thing and then
Mm.
redo the whole thing. So it's up to you. I feel like you could just rock the dark spot, put some gear over it.
yeah, it looks good now. I'll have to share a picture once it's put together, but I'm happy with it. It's comfortable, functional. It's a success overall.
Nice.
Nice, man. Plus, it's got little personal characteristics now.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want it
Yeah.
all even Steven.
For sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and it beats buying a $1,200 desk new.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
there we are.
definitely.
price doing it yourself. So, and fulfilling when it's put together.
Hell yeah. I bet it's going to turn out sick. Get those panels up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Well, thanks, guys. Good
Absolutely.
episode. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to the podcast. Shout out to the LeBron James enthusiast. We love you guys. You can follow us at kitcaster.com/Denver. Subscribe on YouTube. Please subscribe on Spotify and Apple. And definitely check out the shorts on Instagram. We'd love to talk to you there. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap for the week. I hope you guys have a great one.
All right.
Bye.
Later.